4 p.m. on this Thursday afternoon of March 19th, 2026. I'm recording this as a follow-up to today's presentation. Turned out to be quite a pleasant day, even though we have this activity that has been kicking off. We'll go ahead and look over here a little bit, just to show that much more here. And I'm going to move locations. Well, I guess we can go ahead and do that right now, and then I'm going to spin around and we'll look towards the sun. Mind you, this is our last official day of winter. Once again, as I stated in today's previous recording, or recordings thereof, tomorrow being the spring equinox. I'm not sure what the temperature is currently out here. This was coming on a little bit stronger as we were looking at the trails. It might come on a little bit more. I'm not for certain of that. Yeah, tomorrow is the first day of spring, if you will. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. You know, it'd be nice if we could actually, because of the last few years and the very strange weather conditions and patterns and thereof, and so much more. Actually, it'd be nice to just have a wet season, dry season like Australia supposedly has. But I guess that hasn't been the case of late as well either. Very pleasant day out here, considering what is going on. And yes, there's been a lot of overhead activity that's been taking place. But I came out here basically to spend a little bit of time with the animals in the woods and to take in a little bit of this day, if you will. Let's go ahead and dim this down ever so slightly. And as I've been sitting in the woods, let me tell you what, it's been virtually one aircraft after another. At least that's how it was for quite a few moments. And it appears as though it is possibly going to start picking up once again, as we have aircraft back in here with a great potential of many more flyovers to occur throughout the rest of this afternoon and evening. And well, I think I'll go ahead and end this right here, but if anything else of significance should appear, we got some nice little streamer right here, portion thereof. But if anything else should appear, I might go ahead and record that much more and add on to this. After all, why not, right? Yes, the recording bug has once again hit me. It's a terrible addiction. Okay, we shall end up with that, at least for now. Or 4:30 p.m. I thought to record a little bit more. Yeah, sky activity has been picking up. I just seen another one that had no trail whatsoever behind it. Had quite the clearing to the skies, even though we still have sporadic trails that are popping up here and there. And here is the appearance of one of my guides. And if you know my content, then you'll understand what I'm referring to. And I, really don't like to proclaim this, but kind of feels good to be recording my typical content, if you will. And as I've stepped back, we can now get a better visual on this. Like I said, just sections and portions that are sporadically popping up here and there as they have been traveling the air currents. I don't know if we can capture this one in time or not, but yeah, it's fading off quick, off behind the branches. Anyways, another, shall we say, tailless wonder. They're all over the place. But rather high in altitude and far off into the distance for the most part, so it's rather difficult to capture them as they fly over. 4:45 p.m. More or less blue skies. We've relocated to the balcony as we spin around towards the direction of the sun and onward to our western horizon here. And zooming in, we can see evidence of yet another past streamer. But as we should all by now know and understand, that all cloud structures are now created and dissipated through the operations that takes place in the skies overhead. Plain and simple. It never takes long. Like I said, very high altitude and far off into the distance. Ooh, what happened there? Oh well, we lost them anyways. But able to hear the sound of the exhaust. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that could be a different one. No, I believe it's the same one. Wherever it went, down here. And we have another one that is coming this way. Back here within the clouds. Behind the branches here. Sidestep slightly. And there we go. The animals have really been enjoying this weather today. And these guys are about, yeah, there we go. So we got two in the shot here. Or at least did have. Yeah, I'm not so thrilled that I have returned from the grave, especially in such a short period of rest, if you will, but I'm rather enjoying this. And I will enjoy this even more so once posted. Yeah, having some difficulties here now, right? I shall be grateful once I do return to the grave, though. It is rather pleasant not to be so involved with this digital device. So now we can hear the rumble of this one as it has now passed on by. And yeah, once again back behind these branches. And there it is back in there. Okay. Oh, well, not really anything else to be seen right now. Oh, well, I take that back. We do have yet another one that is headed this way once again. But we'll go ahead and end it here. Maybe I'll go ahead and add a little bit more a little bit later. 5:35 p.m. Well, we've got us a flyover that is still currently taking place. And which has actually left quite a decent trail in length, which basically ends about right here. And we have yet another one that is coming across. Well, I stepped out just at the right time. And this one is leaving quite a hefty trail behind it. Kind of hiccup right there. And continuing on right here. Judging by what I am seeing, as far as the movement taking place, it's quite a decent air current high up overhead. But okay, so not only do we have this one back in here once again, but coming down here to the western horizon, we have one that is coming in that has cross paths with this hefty streamer. And notice the difference. See, I never get tired of showing examples like this. Just a shame that I don't get more views. Oh well. As long as I am enjoying myself and the thoughts that I am in fact trying to share, and if I'm enjoying this myself, well, go with the flow. Wow. Yeah, I just realized, look at this. Let's try to refocus here. Rather interesting looking down here as far as the border alongside of this. So we have one, well, we've lost our focusing. Okay. Anyways, once again, we'll look at this real quick. And I'll pan back and kind of, we'll work our way up here overhead so we can kind of get a tight in viewing. Oh my, if that is possible, that is. Because this looks rather unique. We are in fact capable of seeing this. And yeah, all this is headed towards the sun. I believe I'm going to pause this and wait for it to get in tighter proximity to the location of the sun and see what happens. Alright, we will continue henceforth. This is moving rather quickly. I don't believe there's going to be any types of colorations that's going to be involved here. Let's blur it out. Yeah. We can see how it's kind of wisping out different sections here as it's traveling. Yeah, I'm not seeing any types of colorations whatsoever wherever I look. Gotta love the springtime sounds. We return at 6:50 p.m. this Thursday evening. Looked out the window and seen this and thought it was rather unique looking. And of course we've had just non-stop activity since my last recording. And here we have yet an example of what I speak through all the haziness here, which has come on very thick. Massive whiteout skies with still a lot of crisscrossing of past prior streamers or trails. Drop that lighting down a little bit. But it's not just one. Here, let's go back to the regular lighting. So we've got a couple more back here as well. It's getting rather interesting looking back here. Quite interesting indeed. Wow. And that's turning out to be quite the diagonal streamer as far as what we typically get here. Casting quite the shadow. I'm actually kind of glad that I decided to come back from the grave, do a little bit of recording. Let's go ahead and pan back a little bit and drop this lighting down. See what we can see here. Just incredible looking, I must say. Alright, I paused for a moment to give my arms a little bit of a break. They're feeling a little heavy. Once this is a final product, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Once I splice together all of the previous recordings. This kind of stuff that will tease me into the thoughts of coming back once again and continuing on with this channel. which I really can't say that I take pleasure in, but yeah, we got the sounds of yet another aircraft, but if we're hearing it, more than likely it's already passed on by. This is and they just keep coming. Man, they were busy someplace, and all this is flowing on by. Just incredible. I mean, we're talking, wow. If you could actually envision how this was created, right? Okay, and we got flyover that's taking place here. And no, the camera has not blurred out. It is just that hazy up there, of which it's flying through. Wow. Can barely see them. Yeah, I should have known once I spotted the guide earlier that it would turn out to be a situation like this. And it appears as though we've got right up in here some type of colorations. Very, very faint. I can see them with my eyes, but more than likely would not be able to pick up any, I should say, discoloration. And sounds of yet another aircraft, which is the one that I targeted. Just incredible. Well, maybe I'll return in a little bit. Well, yeah, I'm going to end it here. And once that light drops down just a little bit more, I'll step back out. And we will conclude at that given point. Of course, no sooner do I state that and shut off the camera, but we have yet another flyover. Oh, I figured, okay, let's go ahead and record. And we'll capture just a little bit of the streamer here. And let the craft continue on its way. Well, we will end it once again. And continue in a little bit. 7:30 p.m. We have the sun that is actually back here behind. There we go. I had to kind of stretch out my arms over it and away from the balcony in order to capture that, as it has quickly changed its position of sunset. It wasn't all that long ago and it was setting over in this vicinity here, and now it's actually taking place more of a direct Western fashion, if you will. And we've also had quite a number of small engine aircraft that have been circling about today. Now I am facing north, more or less over my head, showing this. So we have actually had an awful lot of activity for this final official day of winter. And I do believe that this is a fitting time for me to sign off and return to the grave from which I have arisen from for this day. There would more than likely be just that much more that I could show during the remaining daylight hours, but this is going to be long enough, as if you have been watching right along, you already know. And if you have watched this within its entirety, thank you ever so kindly. Wouldn't mind it if you were to let me know that. But as we can see, these skies are ever changing. And it's possible that, well, seeing as how this will be my final video for the foreseeable future, if not forever, which that is very debatable. Seeing as how we're more or less getting some clearings taking place, or so it seems, might just go ahead and stall the ending Of course, making it just that much longer, because we just might have something else to observe before darkness falls upon our scenery. Actually, that's pretty decent looking like that. Hmm. "7:50 p.m. About to step out here down at ground level. We are on the opposite side of the building. This is facing north. I'm going to travel around, and we shall try to capture the sunset through the trees. And as we travel, alright, we are more or less facing east. This is actually direct east. It is still quite pleasant out here. Oh, and I think we got out here just a little too late. Yeah. Yeah, I do believe it's back in this vicinity here. Oh, possibly not. Oh yeah. The woods are on fire. And we are getting some like purple, lavender colorations back in here. See if we can enhance this. There we go. Once again, this is to the east. We're getting a little bit more coloration, a bit more northeast, if you will, back in there. You know, I sort of somewhat regret coming back and doing a couple additional lengthy recordings, but you know, it's been a rather unique, and I'll go ahead and say special, last day of winter. And I would much rather celebrate the last day of winter than the first day of spring. Because we have been bouncing back and forth with our seasons, or so it seemed, over the last few weeks. We are actually getting rather quite the colorful skies kicking off here. We got another flyover right here is taking place, very difficult to see, but yeah. Well, once again, yeah, quite a lot of colors coming on. Of course, I have to dim the lighting to enhance it, to bring it out just that much more to compare as to what I am seeing. A couple of wood ducks there. Huh. Interesting, cool. Alright, we're able to see this a little bit better now. And I'm going to head back up to my apartment. We'll go ahead and view some more of this once I do get up there. But let's go ahead and walk on down here real quick. And well, skies are not all that spectacular off in this direction, but we can see a little bit more past activity back in here, right in there. So I'm going to go ahead, head on up to the balcony as stated, and resume. Alrighty, continuing on from the balcony at 7:55 p.m. Boy, is that ever so fuzzy looking. Let's go ahead and pan back. Take on some of these colorations here. Let's now zoom in, and once again we will readjust the lighting and bring on these different colors that much more. Oh, yeah. So we've got this one back here, and then coming up, this one that we were just looking at. Let's go ahead and come back down here to these very colorful stripes. This is, I have to say, this is a new one for me. This is like rainbow striping almost. Yeah, I might have to use this for the thumbnail. I do believe I will. Let's back off all the way. Get entire visual what we have going on here. Oh, we also have this sneaking up on us. At least I think it's headed in this direction. Wow. You know, I'm so thrilled that the recording bug bit me today. Furthermore, I'm just glad that I stuck to my guns and continued to record. Let's go in just a little bit more. You know, but I must admit I am getting rather burned out. But this has been very interesting, very fun actually. We got something up in here. Yeah, right in there. Let's dim this down and can we see that in there? And I am being watched. They're always watching me. And actually, might be a robin. Yeah, a couple of robins. Off they went. And I do believe that our colorations are now leaving as well. Well, still rather interesting looking. And again, the robin, one of them is perched on the peak. Oh. Oh, and as far as that trail that we were just observing, let's go ahead and see where that's at now, which is right up over my head. Right directly over my head. Oopa, oopa. We will be having issues with the lighting here shortly. So we will be ending this right directly. Once again, we have something right in here. You see it in there? Well, I'll be the first bat of the year. Or of our... Wow. Wow. So cool. see a bat out flying about on the last day of winter. Well, you know what that means. Yeah, we've had a lot of insects out and about today as well. Okay, this is going on. I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to divide this up into parts. Okay, yeah, this is going on 15 minutes. Yeah. Well, people, this has been quite a thrilling day overall, as far as sky observations that I have taken in. And other observations. Well, I don't know what that is, but it's traveling. See how it's moved right on along, and it has not really changed in its appearance at all. Yeah, well, the lighting is getting difficult out here now. Okay. Well, come on. Where you at? Right there. Probably did not record that well, but alright, I think that was good enough to end off with. Thank you ever so kindly for joining in. Once again, this has been quite the enjoyable official last day of winter. This Thursday, March 19th, 2026. Take care. Have yourselves a great one. And Skywise out. And goodbye.